Good afternoon, all of you. I am Professor Tanuja Date from Electrical Engineering Department. I am introducing today's expert, Professor Dr. Mohan Renge, for this session today. I welcome you, sir, for this session. Professor Dr. Mohan Renge is currently working as professor in Department of Electrical Engineering in Sri Ramdev Baba College of Engineering and Management. He has more than 28 years of teaching experience. He is approved guide by RTM Nagpur University for PhD and also for ME by research programs. He has more than 40 publications to his credits in national and international journals and conferences. Also, he is a reviewer of many journals and conferences. He has received grants from AICTE under MODROC and from FIST under infrastructure development. His research area is 5-level diode clamped inverter to eliminate common mode voltage and reduce in medium voltage rating induction motor drives. Today's topic for this session is voltage source inverter and its control. I welcome you, sir, in this session, and I request you to begin with the session. Thank you.
Thank you very much, madam. Shall I start?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, you can begin.
Okay, and I'm audible.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so I will continue. This is a voltage source inverter. Just I have shown a single phase bridge inverter. And in single phase bridge inverter, there are 4 switches known as thyristor T1, T2, T3, T4. Okay. So when it gives a positive voltage, so that time T1 and T2, 2 switches are on. Okay, so see, in a positive half cycle, I have written here T1, but simultaneously T1 and T2, these 2 switches are on. Okay, and in negative half cycle, in this period, here I have written T3. So T3 and T4, these switches are on. Okay, now you see in each half cycle, okay, in this period, the current is positive as well as negative. So every switch must provide a path in direction, in going in downward direction and in upward direction also, every switch. Okay, so when current and polarity are opposite, that time diodes conducts. Okay, and voltage and current polarity are same, that time the switch conducts. For example, in this period, so in this period, when current is positive, voltage is positive, thyristors are conducting, maybe IGBT or SCR. Okay. Similarly, here current is negative, voltage is also negative. That time thyristor or IGBT conducts. Okay. But when voltage is positive and current is negative, that time diode will conduct. Okay, in same case, here voltage is negative and current is positive. That's why diodes are conducting. So conduction depends on, okay, what is the polarity of output voltage and what is the direction of output voltage. Therefore, in inverter, always there are, okay, one switch which is used, okay, to control the voltage and current. Okay, this may be the GTO, maybe SCR, maybe MOSFET, maybe IGBT, or any switch. Okay, and anti-parallel SCR diode is conducted. That is known as feedback diode. So this is the case of single phase. Now we will come to the 3 phase. In 3 phase, we use 3 half bridge. Okay, in earlier case, this is the full bridge. Instead of this full bridge, if we consider this is a half bridge. So in case of 3 phase, we consider 3 half bridges. Okay, so one is for R phase, another is for Y phase, okay, and one more for C phase. Okay, so CR phase, okay, here voltage is VDC. So in that case, what happens? We have to consider this voltage is equal to, for our analysis, we must consider this voltage is equal to, okay, with respect to this point, VDC by 2. Okay, and remaining part, this part is also VDC by 2. Okay, this is for simulation purpose. Simulation is analysis purpose. But right now, in this bridge rectifier, 3 phase, all devices conduct for 180 degree. Okay, so there is overlapping of these two is at 60 degree. Okay, and here is overlapping of these two is also 60 degree. Okay, and overlapping of these two are 60 degree. Each device conducts for 180 degree. That's why this is known as 180 degree mode. Okay. So here, see, this is conducting for positive half cycle. So first for 60 degree, we get VDC by 3. What is maybe VDC? Okay, so we get VDC by 3, then 2 VDC by 3 and VDC by 3. Okay, for negative half cycle, first minus VDC by 3, then minus 2 VDC by 3, and again VDC by 3. Okay, so this is negative form. So this is for a 180 degree mode operation. Similarly, 120 degree mode operation. So each device here conduct for 120 degree. So this will conduct for 120 degree. Okay, this will conduct for 120 degree. Okay, and this is again for 120 degree. So there is no overlapping like a last 180 degree mode. And here we get phase voltage half VDC or minus half VDC. Okay, or 120 degree when the device is conducting, so we get half VDC, and when lower device is conducting, that time we get here minus half VDC. Okay, and this is the line voltage. Okay, this is the phase voltage. Now, what are the applications of AC and this inverter? So there are many applications. I am going to discuss one or two applications. One is a AC drive, and another is a STATCOM. Two applications I will discuss here. So see, this is a motor. Okay, and it needs variable voltage and variable frequency. Why we need a variable voltage and variable frequency? Reason is that, okay, so to maintain the flux in core constant, okay, we need a variable voltage and variable frequency. Okay, so you can see, so this is the torque speed characteristics of induction motor. This is the torque speed of induction motor. Okay, this is given for example, 450 hertz and 400. Okay, so V by F ratio is constant. 400 upon 50, it comes about 5. Okay, so no, sorry, it comes about 8. So when frequency is a 40 hertz, that time voltage should be 320 volt. Okay, and when frequency is a 30, that time voltage should be the 240 volt. Okay, and here voltage should be 160 volt. So now the inverter which is supplying to the induction motor, that voltage must be variable and frequency must be variable. Okay, here you can see different top speed characteristics for different voltages and frequency. Okay, and suppose this is a load characteristics. So when frequency is at 20 hertz, corresponding operating point will be A, and you will get the speed corresponding speed. Okay, up to this, this is a constant torque operation. Okay, here V by F ratio is constant. Okay, except some problem is here. Okay, so in this region V by F ratio is constant. Now above that we cannot increase the V, so we cannot keep the V by F ratio constant. So we say this is a constant power region. Okay, voltage is constant, frequency increases and flux reduces. So this is a weakened region also. Right, so here flux reduces, that's why torque also reduces. This is in this region. Okay, another example I am taking StatCom. So before going to StatCom, we will simple see the Kirchhoff's law. Okay, so this is the AC voltage, 10 volt at an angle 0 degree. Just I have taken example. This is a 2 ohms. This is a 7 ohms. What will be the current? Current will be the 2 amperes. Why 2 amperes? So 7 minus 2. This is capacitance. This is inductor. 7 minus 2. It is a 5. 5. Okay. So 10 divided by 5. Current is a 2 amperes. Okay. Now see the voltage across this capacitor. So 2 multiplied by 7. Voltage become 14 volt. Okay. And its angle is 0 degree. Okay. So what is the conclusion here? Supply voltage is less. Okay, voltage across capacitor is more than supply voltage. Okay, so this voltage is more than supply voltage, one thing, and current is leading. Now if I replace this capacitor by some means, for example, some another source, I have one more source, this source, same voltage, how much? 14 at an angle 0, 14 at an angle 0, supply voltage is 10 at an angle 0, one more source. So this current will be similar. How much? 2 amperes. Why? Because this potential we are maintaining as it is. So current through inductor will remain constant and it is 2 ampere. Okay. No doubt this current is flowing through inductor. Okay. But current is leading. Okay. If you see, so current is leading. Okay. Means if we replace capacitor with the help of some source, okay, you will see current is leading. What is the condition? Condition is, say I say this is VI. Okay, this voltage is greater than source voltage, supply voltage. That is the case. Okay, so we must remember a little bit. When VI is greater than VS, okay, so this VI is greater than VS, okay, current through inductor is leading. Okay, what is the condition? Both voltages must be in phase. That is the condition. Okay, what about magnitude? That magnitude depends. If you change the voltage across capacitor or source voltage, current magnitude will change, but it will be leading. Okay, Vs here is less than Vi. That is the case. Okay. Similarly, one more case we are going to discuss. Inductor. Now 3 and 2.5 inductor current is lagging, and what is current is 2 ampere again. Okay. Now if you calculate voltage 2 multiplied by 3, we get a 6 volt, and if you do the calculation, so we get a voltage across this device, this inductor is a 6 volt at an angle 0. Now we are going to make a similar arrangement. Okay, what is in that arrangement? So this voltage I am going to consider as it is 6 volt here. Okay, and this is in phase with the supply voltage. This is in phase with the supply voltage. There is no. Now what is current here? Okay, if you calculate current, it is again 2 ampere. Okay, this current is 2 ampere, and this current is lagging current. Okay, so in this case current is lagging. Yeah, I don't connect the inductor, but I connect one more source, which is known as Vi. Okay, what is condition? It is in phase with supply voltage. Condition is in phase with the supply voltage. So that time the current, which current? This current is Okay, lagging current. Okay, what is the condition? Now this Vi is less than Vs. Okay, here condition is Vi is less than Vs. Okay, that is the condition. Uh, Now earlier, what last time condition? What was like? Vi was greater than Vs, current was leading. Now Vi is less than Vs, current is lagging. Okay, that is our conclusion. Now come to the next point. Okay, see here. This is a Vs voltage and this is a Vi voltage. And if I draw the phasor diagram, so this is a Vs voltage. Okay, this is a Vi voltage. So Vi plus this is Ix voltage, voltage across inductor. Which inductor? So here we are going to say this is a Vi. Okay, this is I into X. So Vi voltage plus voltage drop across this is equal to supply voltage. And you will see this current is lagging by 90 degree. Okay, now suppose I increase this voltage. If I increase this Vi voltage, what will happen? If voltage equal to this voltage, this current will be zero. That you can see here. Okay, observe this phasor diagram or observe this waveform and see. So see here voltage Vi is increasing, so current becomes zero. Okay, and suppose now your Vi means this is Vi. Suppose this Vi is greater than Vs, then what will happen? Okay, this component will increase. Okay, so if this voltage will increase, the direction of current will be reverse. Okay, so direction of current will be reverse. Okay, now see this current is leading by 90 degree. Okay, so as you change this voltage, so that current increases. Now what is this AC source? This AC source is better, okay, inverter with a capacitor. Okay, so we do not transfer the power from capacitors to inductor. Why? The capacitor to source. Why? Because it supplies the current at lagging or leading power factor by 90 degree. If it is lagging or leading means Q is there. Okay, no power flow. Okay, theoretical there is no power flow, so there is no need of source. Okay, voltage source. Right. So this will only supply the reactive power to the system, and this is nothing but the STATCOM. Now suppose you connect here source. For example, it is a solar. Okay, in that case, through this source, okay, you can inject the solar power to the system also. In that case, what is the condition? So these two voltage there should be phase shift. Okay, Vs and Vi. If there is a phase shift, so we can say the power is equal to, okay, Vs into Vi, okay, upon this X, okay, multiply by sine delta, multiply by this, multiply by sine delta. What is delta? Delta is an angle between Vi and Vs. Okay, when this angle is zero, it exchanges the reactive power. When there is a delta, it exchanges the active and reactive power also. So grid interfacing of solar panel is very simple. There is a voltage source, solar panel, then inverter, okay, and we can inject the voltage to the grid. So this is simple method how we inject the voltage as power in the grid, right? So here we need inverter. Okay, so in case of rotary condenser means a synchronous machine. Okay, So synchronous machine, if it under excited, over excited, so it takes up power at leading and lagging power factor. Okay, so synchronous motor is known as condenser. So word is taken here from condenser, con. Okay, and instead of a synchronous motor, we are using inverter. Inverter is a static. So name is a statcon. Okay, but it is power electronics people. It says it is a statcon. But this is used to compensate the reactive power. So that's why this device is also known as static compensator, reactive power compensation. So I have told you two applications. Now see here, my load requirement is power. No doubt, I will supply my system source will supply the power. Okay, and there is a Q requirement also. So Q is also supplied by source. Okay, so now this current is lagging. So see, this is a Vs and current is lagging. This is current I is lagging. Now we generate a statcom voltage such that this is statcom voltage. Okay, so we generate a statcom voltage by an angle delta. Okay, so what will happen? So power will come from source to statcom, and here is a capacitor, and this capacitor will charge. If capacitor will charge, what will happen? Voltage across Vi, voltage will change. Okay, what is the relation? So voltage relation is given by 4 VDC upon pi, that we are going to see in inverter, multiply by VDC. Now suppose this VDC increases, so Vi will increase. As the Vi will increase, it will supply the reactive power to the system. So what will happen? Reactive power requirement from source will reduce. Okay, so current power factor will improve. So in next case, current power factor will be like this, current will increase. So again we generate the voltage Vi in phase with this. Now voltage is much more. Why? Capacitor is charged. Okay, now voltage is increasing in this case. So what will happen? It will supply more reactive power. Okay, and supplied reactive power is equal to load reactive power. So in this case, from source side, reactive power will be 0. So current will be the reactive power will be managed where it is required. Okay, connect the statcom or device, this statcom, it will compensate the reactive power. Okay, now consider the example of inverter. I'm going to consider single phase. Okay, and output is 100 volt. When upper switch is on, we get output voltage. We get output voltage, right? Patil sir, one request is there. Hello. Oh, Thakre sir, Thakre sir. Thakre sir. So shall I continue? I will continue. So now see here, this is the output voltage waveform of a converter, sorry, inverter. When upper switch is on, we get 100 volt. When lower switch is on, we get a minus 100 volt. Okay, and if you do its FFT analysis, okay, so this square waveform has a fundamental wave. Okay, FFT analysis, this shows the fundamental wave, and its frequency is a 50 hertz. Okay, so this square wave has a fundamental wave, and its magnitude is a 127.3. How to calculate magnitude? So VDC is 100 multiplied by, okay, VDC by 2 is 100. This voltage is 100 volt. What is the height? 0 to that voltage multiply by 4, okay, divided by pi. So this will give you the magnitude. So magnitude of this fundamental component, if you see, if you draw the magnitude of fundamental component, is like this. How much it is? It is 127 volt. Whereas supply output voltage of inverter is how much? It is a 100 volt. Okay, but its magnitude amplitude is a 127. Okay, and what is the RMS value of this one? RMS value will be, okay, Vmax by root 2. Okay, so this will come about a 90 volt. Okay, if you see its FFT here, 50 hertz. Okay, magnitude 127. Okay, and its RMS value is 90. Okay, for example, if I give the 100 volt, okay, output of inverter, so in it fundamental component RMS value is 90. What about remaining? So remaining is nothing but a harmonics. Remaining is nothing but a harmonics, and this is not a distortion to the system. This is a only distortion to the system. We are not interested in it. Okay, we don't want it. Okay, so we don't want it to. Okay, so anyhow we want to reduce this harmonics. Okay. In this case, we know, so total voltage comes at 90 volt. Okay, now if I convert this formula, okay, so if I want to 230 volt, for example, for my UPS in my home, I want 230 volt. Okay, so what should be the VDC? Okay, and if I want to control the motor, okay, 400 volt motor. Okay, so what should be the VDC? That formula is there. Okay, now see in this case, okay, there is a third harmonics. Okay, this is 150 hertz. Its frequency is the 3 times third harmonics, and its magnitude is 1/3. Okay, suppose this is a 127. This will be the 127 divided by 3. Sorry, 127 divided by 3. This will be the magnitude. Similarly, there is no even harmonics. Okay, see 200 is almost negligible. Fifth harmonics is there. So if you see the fifth harmonics, its a magnitude is a 1/5. So you will get magnitude of fifth harmonics 1/5. So like this, there are infinite number of harmonics. Now just see whether really it is FFT or whether it is really possible. So what we will do? We will take a sinusoidal waveform. Okay, and we will do its FFT. Now see sinusoidal waveform and its FFT. It is a pure sinusoidal waveform in which we are interested in this waveform. Okay, and its FFTC is there. What is the magnitude? Magnitude is about 127. Okay, it's a magnitude of 127. Okay, no TSD. Okay, no harmonics at all there. Now deliberately I am going to add a harmonics in this sine wave. Okay, so this is the third harmonics. Okay, see this is one time period of one cycle. So 1, 2, 3. Frequency is thrice, and magnitude, if you see this magnitude is 1/3. Okay, so This is 127 magnitude, see here, and this is about 42 or 42 point something. I have added harmonics. Okay, so this is the sine wave, and this is the third wave, third harmonics. So resultant waveform you can see like this. It is like a resultant waveform. Okay, so my sine waveform, if I add in third harmonics, will change. Okay, I will get a waveform like this. So this is the addition of third wave. Okay, if I am going to add one more waveform, okay, fifth waveform, fifth harmonics. Say this time period is 20 millisecond. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, its magnitude is less than earlier third harmonics. Okay, if you see this is the magnitude, 1/3 of fundamental. Now see this peak is reduced. Okay, and I got like this waveform. Okay, means now sine wave is changing. I added only two harmonics. If I add a third harmonics means seventh harmonics. Okay, waveform will be like this. If I add one more harmonics, okay, waveform will be like this. Okay, so how many harmonics? This is third, fifth, seventh, and nine harmonics. Okay, so it's a this is a waveform. Which waveform? This waveform. Okay, and its FFT is given here. So I added only third four harmonics. So sine wave is now converted. Okay, it is approaching towards a square wave. Okay, and if I add a n number of harmonics, means infinity, up to infinity. So what will happen? So this waveform will convert it into square waveform. Now see, again I have shown uh, this is a fundamental waveform, is analysis, and here you will see, okay, this is only 50 years, okay, other there is no harmonics in FFT analysis. Now here I added third, fifth, seven, nine. So here you will see third, fifth, seven, nine, nine means 450 years. These harmonics are there. Okay, fundamental waveform, third harmonics, fifth harmonics, seventh harmonics, and ninth harmonics, and its magnitude is given here. Or you can say in a bar type, this is analysis. Okay, and actual waveform is like this. Okay, if you add these harmonics up to infinity, okay, now harmonics is increase. Increase means number of harmonics increase. So this waveform, sine waveform, will be the square waveform. Okay, means when we see the square waveform, okay, when you think about a square waveform and it is connected to grid, always think about there is a fundamental waveform and harmonics are there. Okay, to consider that we are connecting a square waveform to the grid. No, this is not like this. What is the meaning of this? So sine wave, fundamental. Okay, first I have written fundamental, then third harmonics. Okay, third harmonics, then fifth harmonics. Okay, then seventh harmonics. Okay, and all these harmonics voltages we are connected in series. Okay, and this is a waveform where we get a square waveform. Okay, and this we are going to connect to the grid or motor or what it may be. Okay, so what will happen? Grid or a motor, okay, or even statcom will give the response to all these sources. Okay, how many sources? N number of sources are there. Okay, so we are interested in this, and we don't want, this is not okay, this is a all these things is a distortion, pollution. We are interested in fundamental only. Okay, so its response will be the, okay, for example, if I consider the induction motor, I will consider the example of induction motor. Okay, this is the equation we discuss. Okay, I will consider the example of induction motor. Now how to control the voltage? So if I want to control the voltage, okay, so magnitude of voltage depends on VDC. Okay, this is inverter. Okay, and supply is available here, 50 hertz supply. 50 hertz supply, for example, 400 volt. So it is a fix. Okay, when I want a synchronous speed of 1500 4-pole machines, so F should be the 50 hertz. Okay, what should be the voltage corresponding? 400 volt. Okay, if I want synchronous speed 900 rpm 4-pole machines, F should be 30. Okay, what should be the voltage? 30 multiplied by 8 is 240 volt. That is my requirement, voltage requirement. Okay, so this is variable. Okay, so this side is a variable voltage and variable frequency. Okay, so and here this side is a fixed voltage, fixed frequency. Okay, so this is a thing which we are going to use, okay, to convert from fixed voltage, fixed frequency to variable voltage, variable frequency. Okay, the inverter is going to control the frequency. Okay, and this is a AC to DC converter. This is going to convert the this is rectifier, control rectifier, CR. This is going to control the VDC. Okay, that depends on firing angle alpha. So here VDC is variable. Okay, this VDC is variable. Okay, and this will control the frequency. So we can change the frequency from 50 to 30 hertz and voltage from 400 to 240 volt as per requirement of how much voltage required, that we can change. Okay, so this is the method. Now see a little bit example. I am going to consider the third harmonics. Okay, so in three-phase system, triplet harmonics are zero, always zero. Okay, neglect about this. What about fifth harmonics? Okay, so see, this is a motor. It has a R phase winding, its axis R phase winding. This is a Y phase winding. Okay, and one more is a B phase winding axis. These are the axes, okay, which will produce the flow in this direction. R phase. R phase and Y phase voltages are 120 degree apart. Current are 120 degree apart. Fluxes are 20 degree apart. Okay. So in time domain, okay, fluxes produced by the R phase, Y phase 120 degree apart. Y phase B 120 degree apart. B phase R 120 degree apart. Right. Whereas winding axis is also 120 degree apart. Okay, in space. Okay, fluxes are alternating, it is changing sinusoidally. Okay, it is 120 degree apart, time frame. Okay, winding axis is placed on a core of induction motor, and in terms of space it is 120 degree apart. Okay, this is 120 degree apart. Omega t is equal to 120 degree apart in space. I am considering this example of 2 volt. Okay, now when there is a fifth harmonics, so multiply by 5. Okay, so for fifth harmonics, same displacement is a 600 degree. 600 degree minus 360 means 0, so it comes to 240 degree. Okay, so this displacement is 240 degree for what? Third harmonics. Okay, and for fundamental it is 120 degree. Okay, so in square wave form there is addition of fundamental and fifth harmonics. So not fifth, this is the fifth harmonics. Okay, phase shift is a right. Now see the phase shift for Y phase, YB phase. Okay, one more phase. So this phase shift is a 240 degree for fundamental. Okay, multiply by 5 for fifth harmonics. So it comes 1200 degree. Okay, 1200 degree means 360 multiplied by 3. So that is 180, 1080. If I reduce the 1080, so this comes 120 degree. Okay, means what happened? R and Y phase shift is 120 degree. Okay, according to fundamental component, but for fifth harmonic it is 240. Okay, and angle between R and B is a 240 degree for fundamental. So for fifth harmonics, that angle is 120 degree. So what is the meaning of this? Okay, what is the meaning of this? So R phase, then it comes a B phase. Why? B phase is lagging by 120 degree. So R, then there is a B phase for fifth harmonics. Okay, and 240 degree away is Y phase. So Y phase is 240 degree away. So for fundamental, it is RYB sequence. And for fifth harmonics, same sequence comes RBY, reverse sequence. So what happens in a motor? There is a two revolving magnetic field. One is produced by fundamental component, another is produced by fifth harmonics. Fundamental component produces clockwise. The fifth harmonics will produce anti-clockwise. Means there will be two motors. Okay, no doubt. It is a very small amount of torque which is produced in opposite direction. But in a motor there are two motors. Okay, in one motor there are two motors. One is revolving in forward direction, another torque is produced in opposite direction. It is negligible, but overall net torque is reduced. That is a problem with the harmonic. Which harmonics? Lower order harmonics. So we bother about the lower order harmonics. Which harmonics? 5th, 7th, 11th, and 13. Okay. If you go for higher order harmonics, what happens? So load reactance is sufficient to filter it. In case of induction motor also, in case of transmission line also. If you are using the STATCOM to compensate the transmission line reactive power, so harmonics, sorry, fifth harmonics, seventh harmonic, 11 and 13 harmonics makes a much more problem. Whereas the line inductance and capacitance between line and ground, it is sufficient to filter the higher order harmonics. Okay, so we have to take care how to reduce this lower order harmonics. That case. Okay, solution is the sorry. The solution is the okay SPWM technique. Now, what is this SPWM technique? So we change the magnitude of output voltage proportional to the sinusoidal magnitude. Okay, how to generate the control signal? So what we do, we compare a sinusoidal signal. What is a sinusoidal signal? That is a requirement on output voltage, fundamental component. Okay, it is a replica is a sinusoidal modulating index. Okay, this modulating index in this case it changes 0 to 1, whereas in line voltage this will change from 0 to 400 volt. Okay, so what voltage you want in output, that is a modulating index. Okay, yellow color. Another color, blue color, this is a carrier frequency. Okay, carrier frequency is a switching frequency. So device means IGBT will switch on and off how many times, that depends on carrier frequency. Here I am taking example. Okay, modulating single is a 50 Hz. Okay, and carrier frequency is 1 kHz. Just simple example. Now what should be the frequency? So see, this 1 kHz frequency is the audible frequency. Okay, if you go from more than 15 kilohertz or more than 18 kilohertz, so then that frequency is not audible. So to control the motor, generally we prefer switching frequency more than 18 kilohertz or 20 kilohertz. Okay, so what is IGBT? We select the IGBT so that it's the switching frequency is greater than 20 kilohertz. Okay, because it is not audible. Okay, here what we did, Here we have given a sine wave. We are going to compare a sine wave with the help of op amp. With the help of op amp. Okay, we are going to compare the sine wave with the help of op amp. Right? So see here what happened. Here is a this a magnitude, okay, which is going to control the magnitude of output voltage. Okay, this is the magnitude which is going to control the output of magnitude of output voltage of inverter. Okay, and another is the magnitude of carrier wave. Okay, so suppose this is a AC, okay, and this is a AM. Okay, so modulating index term is there, AMA. Okay, it is the ratio of AM to AC. Okay, and magnitude of fundamental component in output. Okay, it is a V1 amplitude magnitude, not RMS value, is equal to this MA multiplied by VDC. Okay, and V1 RMS will be equal to MA multiplied by VDC divided by root 2. Okay, now we know the relation between output voltage RMS value. What is it? V1 RMS. Okay, and that depends on VDC voltage. And one more thing is modulating index MA. Okay, so now we have two controls. Okay, I can change the modulating index. Okay, I can change the VDC also. So to control the output voltage. So in SPWM technique, we get two control techniques. Okay, control parameters. One is MA, another is a VF, VDC. Right? Now, how we control the inverter? It is very simple. When modulating signal, here see, modulating signal is greater than carrier signal. That time output is positive. Gate signal is positive. So what will happen? Upper switch in inverter. There are two switches in each leg. Okay. So upper switch will be on. Okay. And when okay modulating signal is less than carrier signal, so com comparator will give the 0. Okay, so upper switch will turn off, and that time in that period lower switch will be on. Okay, so what will happen when upper switch is on? Okay, when upper switch is on in this period, we get voltage is positive, and when lower switch is on, here, okay, carrier signal is less than sorry, modulating signal is less than carrier signal, so output voltage is negative. So now we get plus 100 and minus 100. Okay, and its magnitude C. Here magnitude duty cycle or on period is very okay, and here on period is very less. Okay, so this on period depends on magnitude of sine wave. So this is known as sinusoidal pulse width modulation. Means this pulse width depends on magnitude. Okay, here voltage is 0, so you will see pulse width is most plus and positive and negative is equal. Here voltage is negative, so pulse width is very small. Okay, here pulse width is very small. This why? Because voltage is negative. When voltage is positive, pulse width this pulse width depends on magnitude of modulating signal. Okay, so see this we are getting output voltage. Now come to the again harmonics analysis of this one. See, when we do the harmonics analysis, okay, so here see the this magnitude I am going to consider 90. This is 90. Okay, so what is the meaning of this? Supply voltage is 100. I am getting output is amplitude is 90, means MA is 0.9. Okay, MA is equal to 0.9. So what is the magnitude of output voltage? Magnitude of output voltage, this is 100. Okay, this is 100, not 100. This is 90. Okay, 100 is somewhere here. So VDC is how much? 100. So V1 magnitude of voltage is equal to 0.9 multiplied by 100. Okay, so what is amplitude? I will get it is 90 volt. So I can see it is 90 volt. Okay, what about TSD is 121%. We will go back and see the TSD in a square wave. Where is square wave? Right, square wave. What is TSD here? Total harmonic distortion is 48%, 48.3%. Okay, so see here, TSD is increased. It was about 48% for square waveform. When I use a SPWM technique, it is increased to 128, almost 3 times more TSD. Okay, we are going to use SPWM technique to reduce the harmonics. Okay, but it is increasing the TSD. Then what is the matter? Okay, so see which harmonics are dangerous for induction motor are the lower order harmonics, and you will see there is no lower order harmonics. Okay, but what happened? Fifth harmonics was 1/5 of this one, fundamental. But this harmonics is very high. It's a magnitude very large. Which harmonics? Which harmonics we will get here? So see, switching frequency is 1 kilohertz. So you will get harmonics at 1 kilohertz. Okay, 1K. Okay, 2K there is no harmonics. 2K there is no harmonics. Okay, 3K there is harmonics. 3K. So where you will get the harmonics? Okay, so what is your switching frequency? Is odd multiple. At 1K, at 3K, at 5K, at 7K, you will get the harmonics. Okay, at first, okay, there is a band. Okay, band of harmonics, two harmonics. Okay, here you will get harmonics. Okay, and here you will get harmonics. Okay, at 2 times, so there is a band of two harmonics. Okay, if you go for 3 times, there is a band of three harmonics. Now, what is the frequency of this one? So fundamental frequency is a 50 hertz. Fundamental frequency is a 50 hertz. So this will be the switching frequency multiply plus 2 times fundamental frequency. Okay, so fundamental frequency is 1000. So this will be the 1100 hertz. How 1100 hertz? Fundamental is 1000 plus 2 times fundamental frequency. So this frequency is 1100 hertz, and this frequency is 1000 minus 100, 900 hertz. Okay, similarly you will go for third, okay, 3K. So this is 3K, so this will be the minus 3000 minus 100, so you will get it is 2900. Okay, and this is 2800. Similarly higher side 3100. Okay, and one more is 3200. So like this you will get other band also. Now here even free. Okay, this is a 2K, there is no band. So this difference between these two, okay, less than switching frequency, more than this is 100. Okay, so 2K means this is a 200 hertz, there is frequency, no frequency. So this will be the 2050. Okay, and here you will get 2150. Okay, similarly this side is a 1950. Okay, and this will be the 1850. So now this 1850, now these frequencies are available. Okay, now see what happened. In case I'm going to consider this is its frequency is 1 kilohertz, means 1000. Okay, which is 20 times more than fundamental frequency. Okay. Now suppose I'm considering the load is resistance and inductance. Okay, and here is a fundamental component. Okay, plus harmonics, one more component I'm going to consider, just like it. Okay, this is fundamental 50 hertz and this is 1 kilohertz. Okay, I'm going to consider its magnitudes are almost similar, no problem. So both magnitudes are equal. Okay, now fundamental frequency, suppose this is a reactance XL. Okay, its value is, for example, 10 ohms. Okay, for 1K frequency is 20 times more. Okay, 2 pi FL. So for this value will be 20 times more, 200. Okay, now again consider just this example. This voltage is 100 volt, just example. So this voltage harmonics also 100 volt. So this is 100 volt, this is also 100 volt. Okay, what will be the current? So in case of fundamental, current will be the 10 ampere. Okay, and in case of third harmonics, this current will be the half ampere. Okay, which is almost 1/20th. So this current is negligible. This current is negligible. Why this current is negligible? So this reactance, load reactance, offers very high impedance to the harmonics when harmonics are higher. When the harmonics are less, then this harmonics, we have to think about this harmonic, how to eliminate it. But higher order harmonics we can eliminate very easily. I have taken 1 kilohertz. If your switching frequency is 20 kilohertz, okay, so this current, the current will be almost negligible current, harmonics current. Okay, so current is not problem. There is no problem for current. Okay, if higher order harmonics are there. Okay, so in a voltage there are harmonics. Therefore, TSD is very high. Okay, I'm going to consider here example of comparison of both. Okay, so here TSD is higher as compared to square waveform. But what happened? Lower order harmonics are not there. That is the case. Okay, and anyhow we want to introduce the lower order harmonics. One more thing. Okay, this TSD also depends on modulus index. So if you calculate the right, one more thing I have to discuss. Okay, if I make sinusoidal voltage greater than this carrier waveform voltage, so in that case modulating index we say it is greater than 1. Okay, so this is over modulation. So when there is over modulation, there is no crossing of carrier signal with the modulating signal. So that time we get a constant voltage. Okay, this time or this time. If constant voltage is there, so third harmonics will start increasing. Third and fifth and seventh harmonics will start increasing. So we are not interested in over modulation. Okay, but if that fifth harmonics is not harming your load, then you can go for over modulation. And in over modulation, there is no linear relation between modulating index and output voltage. Okay. Now see the another example. I'm going to consider here. Here modulating index is 1.99, means the modulating index is 1. Okay, here modulating index is 0.9. There is a comparison. Okay, modulating index is almost 0.8. Okay, and here modulating index is 1.2. okay, over modulation. So this relation is not linear. Now see, as I reduce the modulating index from 1 to 0.9 to 0.8, you can see this is the TSD which is increasing. Okay, earlier here it is a 100, now it is 121, and when it is a 0.8 modulating index, it is 145. Okay, so what happen in case of particularly if you are working on a Z source inverter? Okay, there's a limit on modulating index. Okay, there is a boost duty cycle. Okay, duty cycle is there. Okay, shoot through plus modulating index is equal to 1. That relation is generally in the Z source inverter. Okay, so if you want to improve the voltage, you have to increase the delta. So you have to reduce the modulating index. If you reduce the modulating index, in that case, what happens? TSD in output voltage increases. So that care you have to take when you design particularly Z source inverter. That time you must think about it also. But anyhow, okay, what is the solution for this? How to reduce the TSD? That we will see afterward. But just now we are discussing this. Okay. Now see here I have shown one diagram. See here I have changed the switching frequency. Okay, 750, then 900, then 150, 1050, 1200, okay, 1350 switching frequency. So there is no change in TSD. TSD is almost constant. Okay, but as I reduce the modulating index, okay, you see this TSD is increasing. Okay, and when 0.1, so TSD is very high. It is about 1400%. Okay, and when modulating index is 1, it is 100%. TSD is 100%. It is increasing. What? How much TSD should be? Okay, so if you see earlier analysis, where is it? Back. Okay, actually see sinusoidal waveform. Okay, and where is TSD? TSD is 0%. That we are not in. TSD means harmonics. Okay, if TSD exists, means harmonics are there. Okay, so this is the case. Okay, so earlier I discussed about SPWM technique. Now I will discuss about space vector technique. Okay, so what is a space vector? So just consider when the upper switch is on, we say, okay, particular for R phase or A phase. I am going to consider this is A phase. Okay, when upper switch is on, we said SA equal to 1. What is the switching state? SA equal to 1. Okay, so what is the meaning of this? A phase upper switch is on. And when we say SA equal to 0, its meaning is lower switch is on in A phase. Okay, if I say SB equal to 0, okay, what is the meaning of this? The B phase here in this lower switch is on. That is the meaning. Okay, so what happened for A phase? There are two states. One is 1 means upper on, and 0 means lower and upper. Okay, so there are two states for A phase. There are two states for B phase. There are two states for three phase. So how many combination? So total combination will be two phases, three phases, and two combination 1 and 0. It comes, there are 8 combinations. Okay, so there are 8 switching states, and using this 8 switching state, we are going to generate the output voltage. Okay, now output voltage is given by VAZ. Output voltage is equal to, okay, positive half. When positive half, when upper switch is on, so we will get the voltage between these 2 points, 0 point and this is positive half. And when lower switch is off, SA equal to 0, output voltage is a negative voltage. Okay, so at this point we will get the negative voltage with respect to DC midpoint. So when SA equal to 1, output voltage is plus VDC by 2. When SA equal to 0, output voltage is minus VDC by 2. Okay. Now see, this is the output voltage 180 degree, right? So 180, 180, this is 180 degree, positive half VDC, negative half VDC. From this 180 degree, 120 degree apart, there is a Y phase. This is for 180 degree and remaining negative. Okay, and from here 180 degree. Okay. No, sorry, 180, not 120 degree. From R phase 120, Y phase is there. From Y phase 120 degree, it is lagging, B phase is there. Okay, so like this, we R phase, Y phase, and B phase. Okay, now see what is the meaning of this here. R phase upper switch is on, Y phase lower switch is on, and B phase upper switch is on. Okay, so R phase voltage is positive. Okay, Y phase voltage is negative. Okay, and B phase voltage is positive. So what will be its resultant? R positive, same phase, B positive. Okay, B positive, say this direction B positive. Okay, and Y is direction this one. So Y is negative. Okay, so 1, 0, 1. So addition of all three phasor addition, it gives this point. Okay, this is 1, 0, 1 in vector space. Okay, right? Now similarly, this point become a 1, 0, 0. So this point is okay, 1, 0, 0. What is the meaning of this? R phase is a positive output voltage. 0 means Y phase is a negative output voltage. B phase is this one. Negative output is opposite direction. B phase voltage. So this point is denoted by 1, 0. Okay. Similarly, this point is denoted by 1, 1, 0. Okay. Next point, this is denoted by, third point is 0, 1, 0. Okay. One more point is there. Okay. So it is denoted by 1, 1, 0. This is a 1, 1, 0. It's a 0, 1, 1. And opposite to this 1, 0, 1. So this is 1, 0, 1. Okay, and opposite to 0, this is a 0, 0, 1. So we will get a different points. Okay. Now since this resultant vector, okay, this resultant vector changes position according to switching state of inverter switches. Okay, now if I connect this all points, so I get some sort of hexagon. Okay, so what it in hexagon shows, okay, this is a vertex of hexagon is nothing but a switching state. Okay, so if I consider this switching state, R phase upper switch is on, Y phase lower switch is on, B phase lower switch is on. So this point indicates the switching state of all three phases. Okay, what is the meaning of this? R phase lower switch is on, Y phase upper switch is on, and B phase lower switch is on. Okay, that is the meaning of this. Now we are how this is to generate the output voltage, that we will see. So before that, I want to discuss about vector. Okay, so see R phase, Y phase, and B phase. These are the three phase voltages. Okay, sinusoidal voltage 50 hertz. Ashok, you can consider current, you can consider flux for control of DC induction motor. This voltage varies with respect to time. So instantaneous value of all these three voltage is denoted by single point in DQ plane. Okay, as the time goes, what happens? Voltage value will change. Okay, so what will happen? Its position will change. Time goes in a linear axis. Okay, omega time goes in the linear axis. Okay, so here we get omega t. This is omega t. Okay, in one cycle, in 20 millisecond, for example, I'm guessing 20 millisecond. So it will take one revolution like this. Okay, this is a 0 millisecond. Say this is a 10 millisecond. 10 millisecond means corresponding point is okay. 0 millisecond is here. 10 millisecond is here. This is 10 millisecond. Okay, so at that time, what is instantaneous value? It is indicated by this single point. Listen. Okay, so as the time goes, time changes. Okay, omega t also changes. And if you connect it with origin this point, you see that vector is rotating. So this concept is used for vector control. Okay. Now this is the output voltage which I want. This output voltage I want. Okay. So I'm going to consider this vector indicates what voltage I need to control my load. Okay. And this points indicates what voltage is available at the output of inverter. Okay. So what to do? My requirement is this voltage vector. Availables are 6 vector 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Total switching states are 8. So 2 states are denoted by this one. Which are these? These states are 1, 1, 1 and 0, 0, 0. These 2 states are denoted by this one. Okay. Now see how to generate the voltage that we are going to see. So first you identify, okay. So desired means required vector is traveling to which sector. Okay, this triangle shows the sector. So there are 6 sectors. Sector number 1, sector number 2, sector number 3. Now it is going. Now sector number 4. Now sector number 5 and sector number 6. Okay. So it is traveling like this. Now identify the sector. Now my vector is in first sector. Okay. So now this is a I want this vector. Okay. So this is a resultant of, okay, now this is my V1. Okay. This is my V2 vector. And third vector is V0. So with the help of this 3 vector, I can achieve this voltage. Okay. So how to write this? So I want this voltage. So this is a V multiplied by time is equal to this vector multiplied by T1. Second vector multiplied by T2 and third vector multiplied by T0. Now its magnitude is 0, so we can neglect it. Okay. Now what is T? T is a switching frequency, not frequency. T is a switching frequency. Means suppose I consider the switching frequency of my inverter is 1 kilohertz. So 1 by T, this time the 1 millisecond. Okay, this time will be the 1 millisecond. So for what time I have to make a V1 on? So for that I have to solve this equation. Okay, how to solve this equation I will tell you. So see, this is my resultant vector. So instead of this complete vector, okay, suppose for example, this is 100 volt, okay, and I want 40 volt. Okay, so I will use a duty cycle. How duty cycle? 100 volt. Time period is 1 millisecond. Okay, I will make this vector on for 0.4 millisecond. Okay, 0.4 millisecond, and for 0.6 millisecond it is on. So what is resultant vector is 40. Similarly, I will consider this also, and resultant of this is my desired vector. So I will get desired vector. Okay. So for that I need to do the calculations. So I have to take a coordinates of this point. This is a switching state. Okay, I have to see its coordinates. Okay, so this vector is a d coordinate and q coordinate. This vector it's a d coordinate and q coordinates, and my desired vector, required vector is d coordinate and q coordinate. Okay, I equate this. When I equate this, I get a real part, a real part, an imaginary part, imaginary part, imaginary part. Here only T1 and T2, these are unknowns. Remaining everything is known because we know the coordinates. Okay, so from that you can calculate T1 and T2. So what is T0? T0 is nothing but the total time period minus T1 minus T2. So like this, you will get the T0 also. Okay. Now what we do, if we know the value of T1 and T2, so we make this vector on for T1 time. So resultant is this voltage. We make this vector for on for T2 times. Resultant is this vector. And both addition, I will get the desired vector. This is simple thing. Okay. So I have written equations. I have calculated time period. Okay. T1 vector is selected for time period. So I get voltage. Okay. T1 vector is selected. So this is 100. Okay. 101. Okay. It is 100. Sorry. 100. So initially R phase is 1, Y phase is 0, B phase is 0. Then I have selected this vector. So for T2 time, R phase is 1, Y phase is 1, B phase is 0. Okay. And for remaining time, 0 vector is there. So R phase voltage is 0, Y phase voltage is 0, B phase voltage is 0. What is this time period? This time period is 1 millisecond. After 1 millisecond, see this position. What happens after 1 millisecond? It goes somewhere else. Again, do the calculations. Okay. See what happens. Again, do the calculations. Okay. So first vector was here. Now vector is here. Again, do the calculation. Calculate switching time. So like this, we can do it. Okay. Now see, there is a comparison whether you are using SPWM technique or SVPWM technique. Okay. So see, in both cases, you will get a TSD. Okay. So when we see the simple okay, this is a square waveform. TSD is a 48%. Okay, and here TSD is a okay when modulating index is a 0.9, 0.8. TSD is very high. Okay, this is in voltage. Don't bother about voltage. See, this is the nature of current when square waveform is there. This is the nature of current when the SPWM technique is there. See here, TSD in current is 18%. TSD in current is only 9.5%. Okay, so anyhow we can reduce the TSD in a current. Okay, that depends on the inductor value of inductance value L. That depends on the L. Okay, how much TSD is there. Now one thing is there. See this still we want to reduce the TSD. Number one thing. So what is the solution? Increase the switching frequency. If you increase the switching frequency, so instead of this, okay, instead of this, here will be the harmonics. If harmonics is here, so what will happen? Okay, reactance will be very high for this harmonics. So harmonics current will be less, so TSD will improve. Okay, another solution is go for multi-level inverters. Okay. What is this multi-level inverter? So comparison of multi-level inverter and okay and conventional inverter. So conventional inverter gives a 90% efficiency, whereas it 96% efficiency. For 90% efficiency, load should be 30%. Even at 10%, it will be 90%. When load is 95%, inverter gives a efficiency 95%, two level. Simple, which we discussed up till now. Okay, and this gives a 98% efficiency. Maximum efficiency is 99%, whereas two level it is the 95%. The reference for this is given multi-level inverters by Leon Tolbert. Okay, I have taken this. Multi-level inverter has many advantages. Okay. Now, what is the output of multi-level inverter? If you see the multi-level inverter, okay, so this is a two-level inverter until we now discuss. It changes minus to plus. In a three-level inverter, voltage changes from minus to zero and zero to plus. Okay, so how many levels there? Three levels. So this is three level. Okay, in four level, one level of voltage, second level of voltage, third level of voltage, four level of. In five level, okay, so one level, another level, third level, fourth level, and five level. Now, if you see the efficiency, that's a TSD. In two level, TSD is very high. Okay, at lower it goes to very high value, 14, 15, 100% TSD is there. Okay, at a higher modulating this, TSD is less. Okay, fourth level again TSD is less. Three level, four level again TSD is less, and five level TSD is very minimum. So TSD reduces if you go for higher levels of multi-level. Okay, so we will discuss about multi-level inverters. What is multi-level inverters? In this, there are number of sources. Okay, and with the help of static switch, we select which source should be connected to output. That is a multi-level inverter. Okay, and if you make its equation, okay, so we get total voltage. Okay, it has equation for this one, and that voltage depends on alpha 1, alpha 2, alpha 3, alpha 4. What is alpha 1, alpha 2? So these are the alpha 1, alpha 2, alpha 3, alpha 4, and alpha 5. So at what instant you are going to add the DC levels, that is given by alpha 1, alpha 2, alpha 3. Okay, and total voltage will be given by fundamental component will be given by 4 upon VDC upon N pi. Okay, N, so for fundamental it is 1, and for third harmonics, fifth harmonics, N will be 3, 5, 7 like this. Okay, for example, in this case, if I want third or fifth harmonics 0, okay, so what will happen? I will keep it equal to 0. Okay, so this magnitude fifth harmonics I want 0. So I will put a N equal to 0, N equal to 0, not 0, N equal to 5. Okay, N equal to 5. Okay, N equal to 5, and I will equate this equation equal to 0. If I equate equal to 0, then I will get the value for alpha 1, alpha 2, alpha 3, alpha 4. Okay, when I will get this value, and I will generate a waveform. So in that, fifth harmonics will not be there. So I can eliminate the fifth harmonics. Okay, there are different types of basic multi-level inverters. Now there are many multi-level inverters derived from this. Okay, cascaded, diode clamp, and flying capacitor. I will consider only two, cascaded and okay. So this is used in the drives, Toshiba drives. Okay, that is also ABB generation. ABB that is used on cement factory also. This is a one picture of drives. Okay, this is used in a ship, but it is a two level. Okay, this gives why, what is the reason for increasing efficiency. So in multi-level, how it reduces the losses. Okay, one more thing is there, we can connect number of inverters to magnetic coupling. Okay, so this is not preferred, this is not multi-level inverter, this is a multi-phase inverter. So we are not interested in multi-phase inverter. Okay, I'm going to consider edge bridge. Okay, now in edge bridge, what we do, we make switches on. How? So see, the switches are on like this. So now see here. Okay, this VDC by 4 and this VDC by 4, we are going in upward direction. Remember this. So total voltage is half VDC. Okay, switching path is given. Here I have written 1100 1100. That's the switches number. Okay. So from this we get, if make the switch on, particular switch on, we get VDC by 4 plus VDC by 4. This is half VDC. Okay. What is the next case? Now we will bypass one VDC. Okay, we make the switches on such that, so VDC is okay, only one VDC by 4 is there. So now we will get VDC by 4 voltage. Okay, what is next? Path is like this. Now we bypass both VDC. So output voltage is now 0 because all switches are on. So this voltage will get 0. So we will get 0 voltage. Okay, what is next? Switching state we are going to like this. Okay, we are going to bypass this source, but in this source direction is opposite. So we will get a negative voltage. Okay, what is next? Negative VDC by 4. Okay, so we are making just like this on. So what happened? So in that case, this is downward direction, this is also downward direction. So total voltage is minus VDC by 2. By 4 and VDC by 4 addition of this. So like this we get the output voltage. This is the direct clamp converter. How it works, that we are going to see. Okay, see here, upper all 4 switches are on. So see, okay, this voltage is 0. Okay, here voltage is minus VDC by 4. Here minus VDC by 2. Here VDC by 4. And this voltage is VDC by 2. Like all upper switches are on. So this voltage will come at output. Okay, outgoing current path is like this. This is outgoing current path through IGBT, and reverse current is through diodes. Okay, so in AC there should be both paths. For example, when voltage is positive, okay, see here current is positive as well as negative. So this positive current, when these switches are on, so the current will come like this. Okay, and in this period current is negative, so current will go back in this direction. Okay, what is next? So return path is like this. So now voltage output voltage is VDC by 4. This much voltage is out. In last case, this voltage was out. What about next? Okay, now output voltage is 0. Okay, no source is there. Next. Now this is output voltage. Okay, this point is connected to output. So what will the voltage? This is minus VDC by 4. You will get minus VDC by 4. Okay, so gate pulse is given. Which gate pulse? Now G2, G3, G4 on, means S1, S2, S3, S4 are on, like this. And last case. So like this we will get the output voltage. Okay. Next, there are different techniques to use to control the multi-level inverters also. So we discuss space vector already. We discuss sinusoidal pulse width modulation. Okay. See here, we write equation for output voltage is given like this. Okay. And if you write equation, and if you write which harmonics you want to eliminate, for example, seventh harmonics. In this equation, write the seventh harmonic 7, 7, 7. Equate it equal to 0. So you will get the value of alpha. Okay. And if you use that value, so in that case, you can eliminate particularly this harmonics. So here alpha 1 and alpha 2. So I can eliminate 2 harmonics we using these equations. Okay. So what I eliminate? Alpha 3 and alpha 5. Sorry, third harmonics and fifth harmonics I want to eliminate. So I am equating this equation equal to 0. Okay, and according to that I will get the output voltage. Alpha equal to 12 degrees, alpha 2 equal to 18 degrees. Okay, so you will see this is output voltage. Okay, 5 volt. This is alpha 1 and this is alpha 2. And if you see here, seventh harmonics is there. Third and fifth harmonics is almost eliminated using this technique. If you want to eliminate more than that harmonics, okay, so what to do? Alpha 1 is positive, alpha 2 is negative, alpha 3 is positive, alpha 4 is positive, alpha 5 is negative. So here, according to that, you generate the voltage. Okay, and if you see here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 harmonics we can eliminate. So here you can see almost 6 harmonics eliminated. Other harmonics are there. Okay, so you will see lower order harmonics are there. What is the reason? So that calculation of alpha is not exact correct. Okay, so that's why lower order harmonics are eliminating. If you make a calculation of alpha particularly equated equal to 0 for particular harmonics, that harmonics will be 0. Okay, here angles are given. These are the approximate angles. Okay, FFT. Another is SPWM technique that we have discussed. Okay, so how to implement it? So for example, high level, I need 4 carrier waves and single sine wave. I compare it with a carrier wave with a sinusoidal. So here I will get a VDC by 2. Okay, here I will get a VDC by 4, 0 voltage, minus VDC by 4, and minus VDC by 2. So this comparison gives the output voltage. I make a switching like this. So this is known as phase shifted. Sorry, carrier shifted. Carrier is shifted by up and down. So it will cover total sine wave. So another is there is a okay carrier shifted. So we consider sine wave as it is, okay, and carrier waveform is shifted to generate the signal pulses. Okay, here is a comparison of phase shifted. Okay, what is the comparison? So these 4 waveforms, carrier waveform, all in phase. Okay, here you will see these two and these two are in phase, upper and lower. Okay, there is 180-degree phase shift between these two. Here what happened? Every alternator is in alternate phase shift. Its results is shown here. Little bit there is a effect on TSD. Okay, phase displacement 15%, and in POD it is 20%, and APOD it is alternate. Every alternate it is 24%. So that is the comparison of carrier frequency displacement. Okay, we can apply this for vector control also. How to vector control? So here you will get a total number of switching point. Okay, uh, total number of switching point 27. Okay, up in that 19 switching sorry, oh 19 switching points will be here. We are going to use a 19 switching points. So here you will see like this is a hexagon in last case. Okay, so here number of hexagons are there. How many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and one center, 7 hexagon. In last time there was only single hexagon. In 3 phase, sorry, in 2 level we get single hexagon. Okay, and in 3 level we get a number of hexagons. So we can use the same technique which we used for earlier. Okay, what is? So again you have to identify 3 points which is near to the desired vector. Okay, right, and now you have to see in which hexagon this triangular lies. Okay, one minute. So here you have to see in which hexagon this triangular lies. Okay, right? Now we have identified hexagon, okay, and hexagon treatment is for 2-level inverters. The same treatment which is we are given for a 2-level, same treatment is given for this hexagon. So to calculate the T1, T2, and T3. Okay, so in my research work, I developed a 5-level diaphragm multi-level inverter to control the motor, three-phase supply converted into AC to DC. This is going to multi-level inverter. Okay, this is a gate driver circuit, and this is a microcontroller DSP. Okay, these are the experimental result. So this is line voltage. So when phase voltage is 5 level, in a line you get a 9 levels. Okay, and in phase you get a 5 level, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 level. In a line you will get a 9 levels. Okay, so this is the output voltage of a 5-level inverter. Here you will see 5-level inverter output voltage, and this is a current. Okay, here is a comparison. This is a 2-level output voltage, 5-level output voltage, 2-level current, a 5-level current. Switching frequency is the same in both cases. Okay, that we have seen. TSD. Okay, so if you see the TSD in this case, lower order harmonics is almost not appearing here. Here you will get little bit lower order harmonics as switching frequency, something like this. Okay. Another multi-level inverter is this is a multi-level inverter. Is what they do. So they generate a only number of levels. Okay, like this, and this is used to change the polarity of this one. Okay, so instead of this, now we have to we don't have to generate this much levels. You have to generate only 50% levels. What is the use of this? This techniques is a uh, switch reduction techniques is there. Okay, this is one technique is used to reduce the switches. This is another method which is used to reduce the technique switches. Okay, and these are the references which I used for my presentation. So any question? Anybody got any question?
Yes, sir. We have one question.
Yeah.
Can we generate gate pulse signal using IoT technique for controlling the inverters?
No. IoT technique is only used to transport the. Okay. You have to generate somewhere pulses. IoT is only to transport the data. Okay. If you are transporting gate pulses, then it is possible. So another end, when from there you are sending a data. Okay. This pulses is nothing but a data 101010. It is possible. But somewhere you have to generate it.
Okay. Sir, next question. When it comes to harmonic elimination, then we have to go with multi-level inverter or some filters. Why?
Right, filter is also there. So, right. Your question. Hello. See, so multi-level inverter is a good answer. Okay. So I didn't discuss much more on multi-level inverter. Why? What is the importance? And how it is beneficial. But filter is another solution. And in case of filter, if your frequency is a fix, then filter is a good solution. Number one. If I want to control the drives, in that case, voltage is variable, the frequency is variable. Okay, it is very difficult to design a filter for large band of frequency. Okay, that is a problem. And multi-level has another advantages, that is it's a dV by dt is less. Okay, and dV by dt again plays a very important role. It reduces the common mode voltage. Number one. Number two, if you go for with two-level inverters, so your switching frequency must be greater than, must be very high, 20 kilowatts on one. When you go for high power, so we cannot operate the high power device set at high switching frequency. What is the solution? You have to operate high power devices at low switching frequency. That is a problem with the inverter. And if you operate your switching devices at low switching frequency, so lower order harmonic switching frequency will appear. Okay, and if you reduce the switching frequency, the order harmonics at lower order will also there.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Yes, thank you. Any more questions, Gautam sir?
Yes, ma'am. There is one more question. Sir, how to change the modulation index when fault occurs across any of the switch?
Right. Modulating index, how to change it is very simple. Okay. So modulating index will be controlled by the DSP or microcontroller. Okay. So when fault is there, you have to sense the fault. If current is more, okay, so that signal will go to the microcontroller through ADC. Current is much more, fault is there. Okay, this signal will go to the microcontroller, and when microcontroller will know, so current is much more, it will reduce the modulating index. Okay.
Okay, thank you, sir.
No doubt, yeah, you have to use the ADC.
Okay.
Gautam sir.
Sir, there is a next question that is for new young researchers. Which topology of multi-level inverter you will suggest for research in smart grid area?
Right now, see this multi-level topology depends on power rating. At low power rating, okay, you can go for reduce switching technique, low power. As the power increases, then you must go for a diode clamp. This is known as also NPC, neutral point clamp. Okay, these two techniques are used. Okay, but if you have a good sources, battery sources, okay, with the constant voltages, then you can go for separate edge bridge topology also. But in a drives, neutral point clamp NPC, okay, 3-level multi-level inverter is used for high power application.
Sir, there is a last question. Sir, can we use alpha beta coordinates instead of DQ coordinates system?
No. This alpha beta is a switching instant, not DQ, and this is only applicable in a selective harmonics elimination method. Okay, there you have to write equation and you have to calculate switching angle alpha. Okay, alpha beta. No, your question is related to SVPW. Hello.
Yes, sir.
Right. Here you can get alpha beta. Okay, DQ. What theory is applicable to vector control? This is applicable to inverter also.
Okay. Thank you, sir. I am handing over this session to Date Madam to give the vote of thanks.
Yes, thank you, Gautam. Thank you, Dr. Mohan Renge sir. On behalf of our department, Electrical Engineering Department, I'm extremely thankful to you for a wonderful session on multi-level inverters and all the control strategies which can be used for improving the performance. And I'm sure all the participants, those who asked questions also are very happy with the guidance which you have given them. Thank you very much, sir, for sparing your time and giving such wonderful session in details of all your presentations and your work which you have done for so long. I'm sure so many details are not available to the participants with the possibility of interaction with you. So I'm extremely thankful to you for this session and look forward that in future also we will have interactions with you. Thank you, sir. I thank all the
Okay.
participants who are present here for this session, and I look forward for tomorrow's session also. All the participants will be present. Tomorrow we will be using Zoom platform, and that link will be shared to all the participants by the coordinator. Thank you very much. With sir's permission, I am closing this session. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Thank you very much.